But that's not what the people are here for, Connor.
Oh no! Not
What are the people here for?
Cool.
Our review of X-Men Origins Wolverine. The first Deadpool and Wolverine team.
And the last Fox movie.
What is-
Officially. This feels like the last Fox movie.
It's
Is
the
this an
last-
MCU movie? Is this
Yes.
like we keep comparing it like MCU kind
Spum.
of? Yeah.
Is it a spum
This
film?
is not Spum. This is way better than anything Spum can ever conjure.
Not out of my spum.
But no, this very quickly, it does feel like an epilogue to the Fox universe prior to the MCU. More than a
Did you see,
good
Did
MCU
you see
movie.
Ryan Reynolds' post when he talks about all that stuff? Yeah, so it does. Hello, everyone. Welcome
Yeah,
back
hi.
for the first time to No Bible Podcast. We are back in the land of the living and recording on time. So, you know why you're here, judged by the title. Because last week, because I was abroad,
Gone.
we had gone.
LA.
I was in the void.
LA.
I was in the void.
Did you actually see Elias? Did you actually
I
see
did.
the budget from Loki season 1, episode 5?
I did. That was a wicked thing. Some of that shit was so good.
Right.
We, in preparation for Deadpool and Wolverine, which released on, the early hours of Thursday,
morning,
the 25th of July.
Yeah.
So in preparation for that, because we weren't here and weren't able to talk about it, we done Deadpool, Logan, Deadpool 2 sort of mini trilogy.
Yeah.
The last times we saw these characters,
Ooh.
and our final hopes for Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, it has been a week.
By the time this comes out, you guys have been warned. But in fairness, because the internet is a mean place, and Marvel themselves, they revealed like the day after, without spoiling it, the cameo, so to speak. They literally kind of went, "Come on down, so and so. Come on down." They literally.
Do you know what annoyed
walked
me?
out.
The final trailer.
Yeah.
With X-23.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have
Because
been
it
nice
was
if they
like-
kept
sweet,
her
it's
in. That would have been
Well,
nice.
Feige didn't want to reveal it, but then
Oh,
it was
fine.
like, oh
Mm.
no, it's like it's obviously marketing purposes and things like that and money, which obviously it made. But it's like that one would have been really good. Like
Yeah.
all of them would have been really good, unspoiled, and the majority of them were because
They do. Yeah.
apart from the fact of that this is like you say the wrap up of the Foxiverse, we'll call it.
Yeah.
The But yeah, we'll get into that in depth in a bit. But it's been over a week since Deadpool was released. By the time you're listening to this, we are currently recording on the year of our Lord, the 30th of July. I have about half an hour ago got back from there because I'd gone back to work today after being on holiday, and I'd finished early, and I was like, I need to see this before I talk to Connor. I can't have him talk about it and me go.
It's been hard talking to people at work without going and not spoiling.
Like sounding like the Tasmanian Devil, yes.
Yeah.
So it will be full spoilers. If you have not seen Deadpool and Wolverine, you clearly don't want to, or you aren't fussed about
Keep your
spoilers
phones
because
off
you're here.
if you're bothered.
So what we will do is that's all we're gonna talk about this week. Yes, Comic-Con happened. I talked about that briefly, like the big news on TikTok.
Which people would have seen more than the Deadpool spoilers if they're not leaked already.
Yes, because that was fucking everywhere as soon as it dropped. Because
Yeah.
I went to bed, I woke up, and it was everywhere.
Holy crap! Yeah.
But we want to do a more in-depth breakdown of the Marvel panel and other stuff that we saw. Like we could do the main bits already, topics that people want us to talk about, like our opinions on. But that's the thing we want to do separate to this, maybe next week. But this is just stick with the algorithm.
Get your claws
Deadpool
out.
Wolverine.
Deadpool
Get
Wolverine.
your claws out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have been this is your final warning, because all me and Connor are going to do is we're not going to do the smart kind Weekly Planet thing where we do a couple of spoiler-free thoughts. Yeah, we're just going to go straight into. You've had time to see it.
Yeah, all adamantium flesh, all
stripped to the bones.
Stripped to the bones.
206, 207 if I'm watching Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
So pre talking about
Preach.
the plot, the preacher.
Yeah. Pre-plot. Mm-hmm.
Connor, let me just check. Still working. Shout for me.
Ah. Yes. Right.
You went and saw it at midnight.
I did. So technically, I watched it with the world, well, some of the world on paper,
Which I could have technically done purely
it would have
because
been very smart.
well, no, not really, because
No.
we flew back at midnight on the Wednesday.
Damn.
Literally.
So if the cinema was literally as you landed, it went,
Got
ta-ra.
straight in, yeah.
Yeah, ta-ra.
But we got home at like 3 in the morning. Long old day. I literally I'd got in. I'd seen on your story that you were there. I was like, brilliant, kind of seen
Cool.
it.
Yes.
The job is done. The universe.
The biz is in.
The universe.
The anchor is. Yeah, the anchor's
Con-
aligned. The
Connor-
Nexus.
Connor is
I am the Nexus.
Connor
being.
is our anchor being.
Yeah.
Connor is the pasty sheep anchor being.
Yeah. I tried to be.
And me and Mike are like Deadpool and Wolverine. We're just trying to, ragtag along and save the world.
Oh, for God. No, mate, I ain't no anchor these days. I don't feel like an anchor. I feel like something else these days, but I can't say that because that's not PG.
Hey, well, we're not PG. Fuck them.
Yeah.
So
Fuck you, fucking.
how was it at midnight? Where did you see it?
Very
At
fun.
the big one? At the big.
You
didn't go. You went Stevenage?
Yeah, Stevenage. 4DX.
I'll go to
3D.
I'll go to for midnight stuff. We saw Doctor Who there recently. We've seen Endgame there and Spider-Man
5 years
Far
ago.
From Home.
5 years ago. Yeah, no, but genuinely, since Far From Home, I hadn't been to a midnight experience.
Well,
Then Far From
COVID
Home
happened because they kind of stopped.
the world stopped. So
The
yeah,
world
that kind
exploded.
of put a brief
What
road
exploded
stop
like a
on
big
that.
bloody balloon.
But I miss the feeling. If any of you guys, I get it's more the next day. If you haven't experienced something late at night, yeah, I know you can stay up and you probably have bad sleep schedules like me and probably stay in and watch stuff at home, but go out. If it's something you've been hyped or if it's something you're really passionate about, like we are on this channel, again, Deadpool, Wolverine, strongly, for those that did experience it, a few people listening or will listen in the future that were at least can say, yes, I second you. I was there. I was actually at your screening without you knowing who I even was. Fair play to you. All I'm saying is midnight showings are fun. Again, you introduced me to Endgame, which is arguably, like, if not the biggest film, the coolest midnight showing.
One of the best
showings.
experiences I think we've been to.
Yeah, but of life, let alone the midnight experience. Yeah,
One of the best things of life.
Of life. Yeah, as dramatic as that may sound, but like that was a good first introductory late night movie watch experience. And sure, nothing will top that until we get to the war. That will be a secret. But again, like we mentioned in Comic-Con, there's one big secret that came out which kind of ties into how I feel about a certain thing at the ending, but that's a really back to front way. We'll get to that when we get to that. But nonetheless, midnight showings, do them. They're cool, they're fun, and they're worth the pain the next the emotional torture.
Yeah, and a lot now they'll start just before midnight. So like with the It double bill, like for that's what I like as well. Like not just the midnight ones, but where you get the ones.
Well, did you see that?
Remember, because we did Star Wars, didn't we?
Yeah, the trilogy.
We did the whole trilogy.
We did a trilogy.
So that then just before midnight, on the same day that in America the last episode of Mandalorian went out.
Yes.
We got episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. Good or bad, I'll let the world decide that. But genuinely,
I mean, the world
was
decides.
like, yay, yay!
Woo!
But
somehow
I like when they do that because the It one for chapter 1 and 2.
Oh, did that?
Instead of getting out at gone 3 o'clock, which you would have been for like the new one, which was like 2 hours, 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, it's longer.
Like
yeah,
the new one started at like half 11-ish. So
oh wow, good.
So it was like you at least.
So were you actually there, or do you just know?
No, I was there. I did that.
You did a double bill of it.
That's when I became desensitized to horror because I'm a very bad horror watcher. Like as someone who's been a kid that's always scared of fucking horror films, not good with them. But I went because I like the cast and like the how because It Chapter 1 is a well-made film. I never saw it in the cinema. I've seen bits and pieces of it. So I went to the double bill, and by the time I was in the second film, it was like I was desensitized to the horror a bit more, so I could actually appreciate the film.
Yeah, fine.
And It Chapter 2 is one of I would put it up there as it's on possibly like my top 20 list of films. Like it's really well made. It's good. I think as a complete, it's better. Like one day maybe we'll get
like a marathon.
Andy Machete's 6-hour cut that he keeps threatening the world with. But stuff like that, it's really good because I know a lot of the times in early phase 2 and phase 3 and things like that, they would do like the late night showings. Yeah, the midnight / double bill, triple bill things like we've had.
What did they do one for 4?
I distinctly remember Thor and Thor. So before it was the trilogies, it was
double bills,
Thor, Avengers, and then Thor: The Dark World. So it was things like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was obviously like 2013, 2014, like earlier days. But for this, it was just on its own. I think we would have definitely eaten up a triple bill had we been able to have gone to it.
What would the triple bill been? Or Deadpool 1, 2, and 3?
Deadpool 1, 2, and 3, yeah. Unless they would have done Deadpool, Logan, Deadpool 2, Deadpool and Wolverine.
A quad.
But then that's a lot.
A quad.
Or Logan, Deadpool 2, and I think just like the last time you see the characters, maybe, like we're saying.
Like we did previously in our previous video, if you haven't checked it out.
Last
or
week.
If you haven't come from that anyway.
If you have not come from us,
yeah.
But how was it? Was there a lot of people there?
Less than expected, which is a real damn shame, because going into the cinema, I was expecting it to be like similar to Endgame, rammed, couldn't get in through the door. Like, again, pre-COVID, I get numbers were something that the world will eventually catch up to by the time we're all 40. Shout out to those that are over 40. No, it was busy, but it wasn't, oh my God, I'm squished in the corner, I can't breathe. The foyer, the reception, I'm only talking about the one cinema I'm going to, of course. We didn't get footage from every single cinema, unfortunately. We're not at that budget yet. But it weren't like, you can't breathe, you can't move. Oh God, it's 100 degrees. This is really going to be a hot, sweaty night with chimichangas. Because essentially you had the 4DX showing, which is what I was in, then you had IMAX and just a regular 2D. So I think out of the three formats, the least people were in 4DX, probably because they're pussies, and you know they probably ate a meal or two an hour before the film. So you know, shame on you. No, I reckon most people probably did the 2D because if you've got an unlimited, it's lower prices. The IMAX is like, again, I think might be dearer than 4DX if you're. I'm thinking about if you're not unlimited.
It's average like 23 quid for a normal 4DX ticket. I'd say about 16 maybe for an IMAX. 2D.
Yeah, but then add an extra. You know, depending on the age rating in the film. Although this was a 15, you probably would have added a couple extra pounds to that anyway. I don't exactly know how the pricing works, but yeah. Anyway, at least people were in 4DX. There was still enough room, and you know, noise was there. There was noise. There was some sense of atmosphere and laughter and value to it. But nonetheless, the 3D helped. Feeling like I was in the movie helped. Again, it helps. That's just how I like my movies anyway. But yeah, the opening was worth the 4DX value enough.
Was there a lot of like, you know, laughs, gasps? You know,
definitely
taking it in, enjoyment of cameos. Yeah. I like to say I was one of the noisier people, considering halfway through the film. There was a good couple reveals that, again, we'll get to, but it did kind of maybe go rather loudly. Like, really loudly. Almost as bad as Charlie Cox. I think that's probably the loudest I've been in the cinema, is when we saw Charlie Cox in No Way Home. Yes, because
that was really like, holy shit.
Early morning, because that's in lieu of midnight screenings. We had like the early, like first thing in the morning screenings. Yeah,
but I've not seen them since.
Maybe it was just a COVID thing.
Literally just a COVID thing, yeah. But yeah, I think the loudest I've been in general at the cinema or at a reveal of some sort was Charlie Cox. That thing is like a real. And I feel like when we went to that though, there was hardly like barely any people. Of course, it's early in the morning. We're crazy people. And
we were in like the largest screen, but
yeah, there wasn't hardly anyone in there.
Yeah, there was a fair few people, but because the screen was so big, it was like you were all far away from each other. So
it felt like we could be as loud as we want, and we wouldn't bother each other. But yeah,
that was good. So with this, how was that for you watching it? Because have you only watched it once? Yeah,
I've not had the privilege to go back, but I'm in the mix.
How would you watch it the second time if you were to?
I would. Me, if it was just me on my own, I'd go and see it in 4DX again easily.
I would like to see it in 4DX. I would. I saw it just standard 2D, just for the thing of like, I don't have to pay. I literally.
Yeah, of course. In there, get out.
Because for like, you know, Stevenage and like Enfield, like they were like 2:10 as well. But for that and getting there and stuff, and then, like one of the ones like in the smaller screens in Harlow, and then it was like that.
Well, did you use that when you went? You went to Harlow.
Yeah, and it's like that's the same sort of. It was literally at the same time, so it was like I'd do that and I get in, get out, get back. And yes,
it's more convenient. Yeah.
Yes, I would have liked to, but it was just I got there, I walked in, the adverts started, so I literally just sat down and just absolutely fucking indulged in it, and considering how much I know has been spoiled online for a lot of people.
Yeah, I say, did you see Did you see stuff?
I'd heard because there's people that leak the plot on like Reddit all the time for these kind of films, and I'd seen things about that before.
Yeah,
like bits and pieces here and there. I'd seen the odd clip, like the dancing bit at the beginning. I'd seen like bits and pieces of that on TikTok. Was like, this is the best opening of all time.
Yes.
Like mentally, I'm here thinking about this. I'd seen bits and pieces. I was still pleasantly surprised by a lot of stuff, though.
Good. Yeah, cool.
And I really did have a good time with it. I would say that off the bat, if we're going to go straight in and just say, like, you know, how we feel, it's not the best Deadpool film.
No.
In terms of, and not to quote our Lord and Saviors and, you know, one day heroes, but, you know, as, you know, Mr. Sunday Movies and Mason say, the first one is so inventive with its limited budget in the way it tells the story. Like it you know, they have to tell the story through the amount of money they don't have for set pieces, so they make use of that, and it's very creative. And then the second one's less of that because there's more money, and especially with this one, there's a lot of money in it. You can see it all. There is a lot of it on screen
and talent on screen too.
Yeah, and not a second of it really wasted. But in terms of plot, it is rather simple. It's not as inventive. It
doesn't go above the extra mile to make it quote unquote fix, or affect the larger story of the MCU at the minute.
Even though Kevin Feige said it's like an 8. So if like Infinity War was a 9 in terms of its effect on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then was a 10, then Deadpool's an 8.
Maybe a second viewing will.
I think in terms of the pruning, like you've got obviously
maybe there's things I missed, but
characters and you know things that we've seen in other shows and movies.
Yeah, definitely similarities to
Loki season 1, episode 5.
Yeah.
How did you feel in terms of just having another Deadpool movie?
Oh,
because
fucking over the moon.
6 years
over the moon.
since the last one.
Yeah.
We'd had, you know, it's been a 2-year gap. You know, even like you said at the beginning, like a lot's happened. Fox bought Disney. You know, didn't know whether he was coming back for a while. Like, we didn't know what was going to happen because they were kind of, and I'd say, like, I don't know if you've seen, I think it's Fallon or Kimmel, one of those god awful obnoxious American talk shows where Sean Levy's on it. And he's talking about how, like, you know, Ryan had come to him while filming, like they'd done obviously because Hugh had worked with Sean on Real Steel, and said
way back when,
and he kind of was like a prophet because he said if you ever meet and get a chance to work with Ryan Reynolds, I think you guys are going to get on like a house on fire and you're going to work together a lot. So obviously they done Free Guy, they done the Adam Project, and had said to him, I think at the wrap party for the Adam Project or something like that. I might be paraphrasing, but go check out the clip. Don't watch the rest of the show; it's all shit. And he talks about how, you know, like he spoke to Sean and was like, you know, I really want to, you know, we're getting approached to, you know, start working on this third Deadpool film. Like, I don't really know what I want to do, but like, I don't think I'd do it if you didn't do it.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, but I know Sean, like you like working on like more original stuff. Like you're not like you're not normally up for a franchise kind of thing. Whereas, like, and he said, like, little did you know, like, as soon as he said he wanted to do it with me, like, I was in, even before we had an idea of what the story was, before we knew that Wolverine would come back. And that kind of came out of the blue as well, because they were trying to batting around an idea of what to do, like, to try and take the elements that make Deadpool, have it make sense of it, like, it being then merged into the MCU and have him being part of that, and how you sort of play with those things. And then when they were when they were going to speak to, they were due that day to have a meeting with Kevin, and say that, look, we're not really cracking the story right now, let's maybe leave it for like a year or two, come back to it. Hugh Jackman rings him that day,
and
says,
I didn't know this,
says, look, I can't stop thinking about it and how much fun it would be, so tell Ryan I'm in.
On that same day.
On that day.
That's
so
mental.
He said that.
That's mental.
Like, he was like, the stars kind of aligned that way.
Literally, fate, the stars align, not to get all tarot-y and mystical and split. Life does have a very strange way of working itself out.
Finds a way.
So Jeff Goldblum should be in the next Deadpool. Should they make another one?
Yeah, Grandmaster.
Damn, mate. He is a Grandmaster in general.
But
no, that's a cool story. I didn't know none of that.
So this is cool. Kind of, obviously, because another film in the Fox universe with Deadpool was always on the table.
Yes.
It was mainly, from what I believe, depending on the reaction to Deadpool 2, which done quite well, is that it was going to be an X-Force film, which Deadpool would have been a part of.
Yes.
So you would have had like the likes of Cable and Domino return, maybe some other members of the X-Force then joining. I don't know if you'd have had Black Suited Wolverine at that time because, you know, by that time Hugh Jackman was done.
Run, yeah.
And then a third Deadpool would have come along in some capacity.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people had sort of called for, like, you know, you get to sort of 3 and then it's done. Maybe you have him pop up here and there, like in an X-Force.
Well, speaking of Doctors in Doctor Who, they get to 3 seasons and they're done. 3 is the magic number.
That's generally the thing, like, especially like you think like Ryan Reynolds is what, like late 40s now. Like,
he don't look like
he's not going to want to keep, like, I know we say that, but you know, Disney brought him back and they're going to make him do it till he's fucking 90.
Yeah.
But obviously, genuinely, like, this could genuinely be like one of the last times we see it. I don't think it will be, because the whole thing is like, you know, I feel like your work's only just beginning.
Yeah.
I think it does well in terms of the fact that it isn't called Deadpool 3. I think that is one of the best choices they made in terms of it's the first MCU version of Deadpool. It is still very much part of this Deadpool trilogy.
Yes,
100%. Through line is there.
Yeah, it's key. Yeah.
But it is more sort of that flavor in this place instead of like instead of still in that bubble, which it kind of still is very much in its own bubble. So it can, I think, to the help of that, carry on in the background and not really affect the wider story
universe, multiversal stuff,
but then have effects when it comes into the fact of they will all, because you can bet any, like, if we're bringing back, like, spoilers because we'll talk about it more like either next week or on its own thing, but if they're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. to play a villain, you can bet your ass that they're going to want to bring Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman to unite and be in the Secret Wars. Like, I now more than ever, after that Comic-Con, I am convinced that they will both be in it.
Yes.
Not saying like Andrew probably will be as well, but in terms of, this is, like we said, very love lettery to the, because Ryan put up a post of like, this isn't just a hello MCU from Deadpool. It's a, you know, it's him, it's Hugh, who's obviously spent the longest time in this universe.
Yeah, like it predating the universe. Yeah,
and Sean has directed a few films. I believe Achieved by a Dozen were both Fox films. So like has worked with that. So it's saying goodbye to that aspect, that because as he says in his post, that's their origin story, and it was messy. It wasn't great. You know, he had to leak the Deadpool footage and things like that, and you know, you had different directors, different continuity, different actors, chopping, changing, and you never really hit your stride with X-Men, which is really unfortunate because it should be superhero Hogwarts. It really should. Don't pay that bitch any more money. It's been so unfortunate in terms of, it is probably 50-50 in terms of, if you're counting all of them, good ones and bad ones. But for us, as kids of that generation that grew up in the early 2000s and watched all these films, it's meant a lot to me, not just the X-Men films, but the fact that it's pays homage to essentially everything, no spoilers intended, from Blade onwards to like all of the Fox films in some capacity is honoured. Even Fantastic gets a fucking couple of nods. And it's like, it is a goodbye. It's a mess, and it's as messy a goodbye as the rest of the film. It's probably the cleanest in terms of, it doesn't give a fuck about continuity, like none of them really have.
Of them do. No,
but in terms of a more visual consistency, like the Deadpool trilogy is consistent, and this fits in with that. And I think that it allows all of that to just sort of be self-contained. If it continues, it continues. But at least we got the third outing of it, and I'm thankful that we got to
witness it.
We got to experience the X-Men.
Yeah.
If we never do again or anytime soon, which we probably won't, because I doubt it's going to be a while probably before we get a full-on an X-Men film. X-Men, sorry.
X-People.
You're X-People.
Dated phrases in part of the 60s.
You're exhausting. Puns.
Yeah.
I loved it for that. It does, like a lot of people said, like I think DK and Mike have said, is it gonna, be remembered fondly for its story, for this, for that, in a few years' time? Probably not. but it does exactly what it says on the tin. It is a Deadpool comic brought to life.
And fun. In one
It's
word,
fun.
it's fun. It's up there. It's far going back to 2024. It's one of the fun movies.
It's one of the most turn your brain off,
Head off.
food
in your mouth,
blockbuster ones, isn't it?
You just eat,
but not in a way of like it's just like
entertainment.
Godzilla Kong. It's not just smashy. Look at this.
It's
there's that, but there is a lot of fun to be had here.
Yeah,
and I really did appreciate what Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Sean Levy have given us.
Yeah.
So I am thankful for that. It's not my favorite Deadpool film. It's one of my. It's probably one of the better multiverse films.
Yeah, ironically, yeah.
And
I think it is.
In terms of the total of the MCU, it's above average.
Sure.
It's more of the higher middle. It's not with your Winter Soldiers and things like that, but it's a lot of fun. It's maybe just below your Guardians films in terms of they are more emotional on a through line.
That's a fair shout.
It's more,
Mm-hmm.
And despite Mike's problems with Multiverse of Madness, I don't think that's a bad movie. I'd say that it is better than that, but not by much. I think they're both rather enjoyable films.
Coin toss whether you're going to watch that or that.
Connor.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a neat, it is a neat love letter to the Fox era before the MCU. Again, things got acknowledged.
More ways than one.
More ways than one. We got mentions of certain other ones, or other cameos, actors that weren't necessarily in the film. The characters, we're guessing were alive and active in the void until Alive just ate them up, just nom 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 off screen. Unfortunately, but at the same time, at least we got a cheeky reference to all here or there or to other ones. But Sean Levy, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, that trinity of actors and crew have at least gone out and sort of did their vision. Sort of neatly put a bow and kind of laced it as best as they could without making it too hard or ripped or forced. There's no super glue. The budget clearly went on Alive from Loki season 1 episode 5. So they literally kind of neatened whatever they did, wherever they could, whilst simultaneously taking the piss out of the concept of the film and of the multiverse and of Marvel and the current state of how they are right now. This is it is an MCU film, sure, but this doesn't feel like an MCU film. Like Guardians 3 isn't an MCU film. That's a James Gunn film. The things from the last couple of years, we love. It's cool to hate the MCU. I'm not hating on this. I'm not hating the MCU at all. We're not here for that. And this rightfully takes the mick of very relevant things and conversations going on right now. But at the same time, it isn't here for any of that. This is just a switch your brain off popcorn eating movie that no doubt you're having a bad day, whack a bit of this on, you guaranteed to make you smile. Like, even if it is literally just for the silly dancing or, decent action, or just to see Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds close off arguably a generation of superhero movies before the norm of the universe format, the MCU. And, for now it takes a little bow and... it was honourable. It was lovely. It was very, very good. It was very heartfelt, considering the circumstances surrounding it and the current superhero scene at the minute. But yeah, so where do we dive in? Do we kind of go chronological? Do we just go, this is what we think about so and so? All right, we said Blade was in it. Like, do we just talk about cameos? Are we talking about in a rough order? Or...
You just definitely spoiled a cameo for me. Spoilers, so fuck you.
Yeah. Who cares?
Do you want to go through the cameos, and then we can just sort of overarchingly sort of do the story?
Yeah.
So the basic premise, I'll do the basic premise is that because Wolverine died in Logan, he is what's now being referred to. There's an anchor being for each universe, and the loss of the anchor being will cause over several thousand years the deterioration of that universe.
Of that universe, yeah.
Mr. Paradox,
so
played
Fox
by
Universe, bye.
Matthew McFadden
from Succession.
And some other things probably. He was probably in more things than Succession.
Not only Succession.
I don't know any of them.
You're successful. It's in the name, but sure, you've earned your chops. You were in Succession, and then you carried on the Succession momentum.
Your success.
I thought he was great in it. He was perhaps maybe standout performance. I thought he was. I want more of Mr. Paradox.
Yes,
I thought he was great.
Mr. Paradox, who wants to then use the time. What's it called?
The Time Quantum Destroyer. comic
Time-
book thing here.
time thing.
Yeah, the time crystallization.
Basically uses
I
the
don't know.
machine to basically purge the timeline
Yeah.
and basically taking on certain beings from the multiverse to the sacred timeline. Even though you can sort of keep everything in the sacred timeline because there is just other splinter universes, everything just has to be in conjunction. Nothing has to contradict or have, you know, incursions or collisions and things like that. Like Reed Richards said once in a film, I don't know.
Many moons ago. Yeah.
So Deadpool thinks it's just simple, like, I'll go and find a new Wolverine then. Because obviously the opening where he uses the dismantled bones of the I'm no, you know, medicine person, but I think you're extremely passed away. And it's the adamantium skeleton of Wolverine from the movie
2017.
Logan,
Yeah.
uses that and this completely dismembers to the NSYNC song Bye Bye Bye.
Bye bye bye.
Absolutely dismantles the TVA. And we get the Deadpool thing. If it starts like that and then flashes back, and then we get the other backstory. We see him with the majority of Deadpool 2 characters. Not a single mention of Domino. Cable gets a mention, and the fact that his device was then smashed up. So presumably Cable's out there somewhere because he can't get home. If he's managed to slide so much that he's slidden through universes because Deadpool applies for the Avengers. Did you like the Happy Hogan's office?
Yeah, I was going to say Happy Hogan.
You had the retconned first appearance of Peter Parker was the Iron Man kid in Iron Man 2, wasn't it?
Yes.
So you had that helmet, but it was in front of Peter in the picture.
It was.
Everyone's forgotten who Peter is.
Who is Peter? I mean, I know him. I can't picture him. But yeah, Peter. Who is Peter?
Yeah,
Guys, send us a photo of the MCU Peter Parker, because I swear I've seen this kid before. But he was. We know Spider-Man, but I can't find Peter Parker anywhere.
It's a Spider-Man. It's a Spider. Oh, we don't know. We've never seen him.
But no, I'm happy Jon Favreau was there. He was a cool cameo. I consider him a cameo.
And that, and also like that could have been a allusion to the fact that he is Foggy Nelson in the Daredevil 2003 film.
Yeah, sure.
The fact that he didn't make a joke about that either, I was like, you know,
sure.
Jokes about Disney, jokes about cocaine, jokes about pegging from the trailer. You know, there's one thing Feige won't let us do is talk about cocaine. It's just stuff like that. They're going to make him do it till he's 90. He does musicals now. Some of the needle drops were a bit too much in the scene, but in terms of the fight in the car, I love that, like, when he hits his head off the radio, it starts singing Greatest Showman. Like, I like little bits like that. So he goes on a quest to find Wolverine. We see many different Wolverine variants, which I like. That some are played by Hugh Jackman, some are not.
No, some of them weren't, which was great. But one of the ones...
Should we go through the... Go on then.
No, what I was going to say.
Save the best one for
majority of them were Hugh.
Yeah.
We got comic Hugh. We got
comic accurate 5'3",
yeah,
which is weird because it looks like they just shrunk him.
It did,
instead of get a body double,
like the MODOK effect, but shrunk him. And
they like stretched out the JPEG.
They're still hilarious. That got a good reaction.
You get the Age of Apocalypse one with one hand and the really sort of bohemian hair and the black and red leather.
Black and red, yeah.
The Crucified one from cover of Uncanny X-Men.
Oh God, I don't know this shit. I'm not at that point. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, we get his secret agent alter ego Patch,
not by Daniel Radcliffe, because everyone was adamant that it wasn't Hugh's shoulders from behind.
Yeah, but
it could have been a stunt double for all we know. It could have been that until closer up. But, yeah.
And then every single
we'll never know.
There's an Old Man Logan variant. There's a few different ones, and we get our first sort of shocking one.
A real
sort of oh fuck, he's in there, because long rumored new Wolverine actor who I still wouldn't mind doing it.
After seeing it, I kind of believe in it.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't get much out of him because now he's like in his mid-40s. Well, you know, Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman was Hugh Jackman is.
Oh God,
Hugh Jackman's what, 55?
Are you quizzing me, or do you want me to find out and then tell you after?
Go on. Hugh Jackman is, and then you answer that. We got Henry Cavill, referred to as the. You know, from the back, you look like Henry. Oh my God. The Cavalrine. The stories are true.
How old is you?
56.
55.
I did say 55.
Close enough.
So which means that in 2000, when the first X-Men film came out, he was 28.
Yes.
No, 21.
one
What?
out.
No, not
No.
21. 31.
Yeah, maths. Oh,
30, he was 31, wasn't he?
31. Yes.
Bloody
yes,
hell.
Bloody hell. Yeah, 24 years. That because that's the math. He's been playing the role for 24 years.
Maybe just like before, because
55.
obviously 99 and 98 you would have got it.
Yeah,
and
2000
filmed it in
when it came
99.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Tough.
since his late 20s, early 30s, Hugh Jackman has been Wolverine. So, you know, Henry Cavill is what, 45?
Oh, God, that's
43?
So
42?
55,
41?
and Harold is the man from
Uncle.
41.
Oh, yeah, fuck it, he can do
40,
it.
41, yeah.
The Wolverine, the stories are true. And it looked like it's full on. He's got the mutton chops, he's got the vest, he's got the cigar. You were just leaving. And then he fucking does the reload arm. He reloads and does the claws. It's my favourite bit of the movie. So anyone who doesn't know, in
Mission Impossible
Fallout in 2018, Henry Cavill is playing CIA agent. I forget his name. It doesn't really matter. They're all the fucking same. He's got a moustache. That's the reason that his lip's funny in Justice League.
I was to say Justice
League.
Justice Mind.
And he does the infamous reload arms before he punches Tom Cruise in the face. He reload arm fucking adamantium claws it, which is so meta. Like, and then fucking stabs Wade through a fucking portal. We get a nice little bit of that, like lots of gratuitous cameos, lots of variants. And then he settles on a drunken, disorderly Wolverine in a version of the bar that we've seen in we saw it in Logan, and we see, I don't know if it's the exact same bar from First Class. It's definitely not the same one from OG X-Men.
No,
but there's similar signs in the background, so it's possible that it's at a different
it's like an adjacent universe where it's acknowledging both timelines and going, this is our one.
Very similar to Logan. This is my only problem with it, is it's kind of a very sort of cut and dry. Here's the character arc from Logan, but he's wearing the yellow costume. That only took 20 fucking years. Nice Jim Jams. But the way that that's worked into the story as well is lovely. So Hugh Jackman's version of Wolverine, all the X-Men have died because of him. He went out and got pissed, and he was like, didn't help them. They were all murdered by the humans. Went on the mutant hunt, and he, knows, you're highly regarded in my world. Well, here I'm not nothing.
Fucking nobody or something like that.
And he knows they're kind of like both the worst versions of their characters.
Other. Yeah, which is
fitted together. Like, we did years for this team up. And I think you get everything out of it. It's because there was I'd hate to keep bringing it up, but on the Weekly Planet, like Nick Mason does say, like it would have been, I think, funnier had they taken him from the start of the movie Logan, then had him go on that journey and then wipe his memory and send him to go on back on that journey again. So it would have been a bit of a fucking meta piss take kind of thing. But like to have it here with two different versions, it's a bit sort of like, we've treaded a few of these steps before, not just in terms of characters that will have an impact on Wolverine doing the right thing, mainly X-23, which we've already, because if she wasn't in the end of the trailer, I think that reveal would have been
a real jaw dropper.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I liked all that stuff. The Wolverine variant thing, Henry Cavill was a nice surprise.
Very nice surprise.
Anyone gasp? Because there was hardly anyone.
Oh, yeah. But I had a couple, like my mates were kind of like, I recognise him. They couldn't figure out who it was.
Did you know it was before he turned around?
No, I didn't know who it was until he... I thought,
what was your initial reaction? You were like,
no, it was, who the fuck are you? Oh, shit.
We will take, it just makes so much sense. We will take so much better care of you than those shit fucks down the street. You were just leaving.
Shit fucks down the street.
As we know, he's made so many Green Lantern jokes, he's not adverse to taking the piss out of DC, which Marvel would have been all too on board for.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So you can't just replace an anchor being, but once they get sent into the void, a la Loki season 1 stuff. Season 1, episode 5.
Season 1, episode 5.
You get that. So
especially
a lot of the film takes place in the void, where it's seemingly most, if not all, of the Fox Marvel characters have been sent.
Eaten up.
As a character who's not Captain America says, like, anyone who doesn't play nice seems to get sent here.
Yeah, but I love that.
You either become food for Goliath or you become work for her.
I love that reveal because, again, I knew it, but again, he's like, "Oh my god, he's gonna say the thing. It's America, flame on!" And he's like, "What the shit?" He doesn't say what the shit, but it would have been a nice call if he went, "What the shit?"
It's all very Mad Maxy, but that's IP infringement. And then they turn up on Mad Max vehicles, so you get the villains led by Pyro. Pyro is back, played by, I forget the name of the guy. Did it?
Aaron Stanford.
Aaron Stanford, yes.
Aaron Stanford. Doesn't sound anything like he did back in 2003.
In some shots, he looks as young as he did in those X-Men films. In some, like in the original trailer, he looks a lot older. But then for some shots, like the way his hair slicked back is very like he is in X2 and X3. So it's like, oh no, that is Pyro.
It is Pyro.
There's a lot of. Here's some returning X-Men characters. They're not necessarily played by the same actors. We've had to recast some of them. I'm not the Juggernaut. Is it Tyler Mane as
Sabretooth? Yeah, original. Yeah, cool.
Should it have been him or Liev Schreiber?
No. Well, because of what we got, I'm glad it wasn't Liev. I'm glad it wasn't Liev Ray Donovan Schreiber, because that man, out of the two,
Liev Schreiber plays Sabretooth, younger version in Origins.
Liev's a great actor anyway.
It's assumed that his mutation, like, he just keeps evolving and he becomes more like beast-like, and therefore looks like the Tyler Mane version in X1. Who is sometimes Wolverine's brother, sometimes not. Oh my god, it's your brother! You look ridiculous. People have been waiting in his fight for ages. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Baby Night. Shut up. Their first fight, I think, is the best. Like, let's get the kids what they want. Yeah, hold on to your metaphysical sock, nerds. This is going to get good. And they fight. That's the fight of some of the videos we saw, with the Fox logo
in the background.
Rest in pieces, Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was Tyler Mane, because again, we only got a brief. It was a blink and you'll miss it, Sabretooth. It wasn't a full-on.
It does also call back to Origins.
It does.
How do you plan on stopping me, Jimmy? I'm going to cut your goddamn head off. See if that works. And it does.
Oh yeah, nice.
Tyler Mane quickly dispatched of.
Yes.
But that's not before we have. Oh my god, it's him, the one and only.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna stand. I thought he was standing behind him, about to slap his bottom because of the whole America's ass thing.
Yeah, it's Chris Evans,
and he's like, flame on, and he's like, he doesn't go, what the shit?
Avengers.
Yeah, Avengers. Flame on!
What the shit?
Yeah, what the shit?
Yeah, we thought we knew him too.
yeah. But yeah, Chris Evans, Human Torch, back from 2005, but with the modern good looks.
Does it make you wish, like we've said before, it should have been Ewan Griffith in Multiverse of Madness, because then we would have got two of the original
05
actors, and then it would have been like just get Jessica Alba or Michael Chiklis in somewhere.
But who's to say, and be optimistic here, I doubt it will happen, but who's to say we can't get a weird civilian cameo?
Chiklis was rumoured for Deadpool Wolverine, wasn't he, for a while, and he had to come out and say, I'm definitely not in it.
It was a photo.
But I know who's playing him, and he's a really great guy, and that was obviously Eben Moss-Backrack. The Bear, fucking amazing.
I say, who's to say we can't get Jessica Alba and Michael Chiklis cameo randomly in
Secret Wars?
I was thinking more Fantastic Four, but not as their characters, but just as random people in their universe. That's not the 616.
Maybe,
and they're just random.
No, I'd like all of them to sort of. I think Secret Wars is going to give us that wrap up to characters long since got, like, the others are. It's people that the world forgot about, which is very true. I think you're going to get wrap up to those kind of people. Like, I think Secret Wars. I would not be surprised if you get a Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider, an Ang Lee Hulk. Others of that description, a Punisher of some kind, obviously not Ray Stevenson, rest in peace. Punisher gets mentioned.
He does.
Yeah. Yes. Where did he get that rocket launcher from? That was the Punishers.
Oh, yeah.
Which one? There's been like 5.
Oh, yeah.
The Pyro drawing out the flames from Johnny to put him out is quite good.
That was cool. Yeah.
The effect's also done well, because it's like the 05 effect, but obviously better texture and technology. And it doesn't look like Fantastic.
No, thank goodness.
And it also doesn't look like Sunspot in Days of Future Past, or I don't even know what they're going to look like in Fantastic Four: The First Step.
The future steps.
That was nice. Surprising or not?
Because it's Chris Evans, because he's a good sport, and because he's been in other Sean Levy things, I weren't blown your socks off. Yeah. No, but he was cool. It was a good
and it was a nice bait and switch, even though it was a bit obvious.
Yeah,
because it's like he's not going to be Cap. It's like, okay.
And looking at his figure before because he had
you could see the collar and the
you saw the. If they generally kept the blue or color changed it, then it would have been like, who is this guy? Who's the skinny little
Is this
man?
Cap? Because like as soon as he puts the cap, he's saluting. It's like, is that me dying in Thor's arms? Is that a sign of things to come? Because it seems like he's trying to not show in that. Like, no, don't look at that. Don't look at that. Cassandra Nova, played by Emma Corrin, twin sister in some realities of Charles Xavier. Sometimes only one of them is born in their universe. Sometimes they both are.
Yeah, crazy psycho twin.
But Charles can read your mind without lifting a finger. I have to get my hands dirty. Oh, you're funneling my brain, and it tasted like hate.
Tasted like hate.
All those bits with that we have. So various X-Men recast. Azazel is not Azazel from First Class.
Is he not?
Because that's a different. He's face.
Too red.
I don't remember what the man's name is, but that's not him from First Class. It's definitely not Juggernaut.
It definitely ain't Vinnie Jones, about that.
Oh, so you're this year's Juggernaut.
So it's been over a week. So I'm you quoting it and doing the excellent impression is
it maybe helping it?
Yeah,
because
I
literally got home less than an hour before we started this, so that's good.
But yeah, no, the Juggernaut
made up
not
to
Vinnie
look
Jones.
like the Vinnie Jones version.
Very much the Vinnie Jones Juggernaut. Yeah,
nothing to do with the CGI Deadpool 2 version, which was voiced by Ryan Reynolds. Which is the whole joke of like, oh, you're this year's Juggernaut. But then obviously it's paying homage to the Fox one. It's a shame they couldn't get Vinnie Jones to do it.
It would have been cool.
Same with Azazel. It's a different Lady Deathstrike as well, because you see a lot of background mutants that you maybe have seen. Yeah. Toad was Ray Park.
It was Ray Park.
No speaking role, but it was Ray Park could do anything. It was sit on a hologram and light up a lightsaber for no reason. We know this.
Kenobi!
You and I are going to spend a lot of time together, Kira. In the sequel, that's not happening. Toad, yes. Lady Deathstrike, different actor. A lot of the background ones that some of them we saw a lot of in like X3, which was like a lot of the background, like spiky random mutants, which was good.
Spiky random mutants, yeah.
Like the pufferfish guy and things like that. There was similar to those kind of powers and those different, like the one that could sense mutants. You know, she had like the gamma tattoo on her neck. There was a person that was made up to look like her. Not the one that does, what's her name, like Arclight, that destroys the weapons and things like that with the clapping. Not her, the other one, the one that senses mutant powers. Emma Corrin's good, believably an evil Charles.
Yeah,
we get every now and then a Charles makes it here, and then that's how she's got the chair that she's obviously using. There's an agreement with the TVA. She's been sent to the Void. She basically controls it and helps clean up the filth and the dirt. Help basically siding with Paradox, because Paradox is doing all this under the TVA's nose and not, because he wants to basically take over the TVA.
Yeah, So for those going in thinking, how is this going to tie into the TVA from Disney Plus season 1 and 2's episodes 1 through 6? This is like a rogue TVA. This isn't the full-on TVA. This is just an evil dictator's TVA, and his name's Paradox. So it does make me think, like, are we gonna should Matthew McFadden come back and obviously do more, which I bloody hope he does, because I feel like he was perhaps the standout performance for me. Aside from
it was good.
Double, I think he was
very
I liked
very sort of pantomime-y.
No, I just want more of his character. I want to see him before he was in the TVA and how he became the way he became.
Yeah, can do.
Down the line. No,
he's like an evil Mobius, isn't he, really?
Exactly.
Which they don't get a shout out or a mention. Obviously, the show Loki does. It's Elias here from Loki season 1, episode 5.
Yeah, keep quoting that. Yeah.
We have the big giant Ant-Man corpse where her base is. Oh, poor Rod finally aged. So there's all those kind of things. There's some others that escape, like they're on the edge of the borderlands. That's where we'll go, and then Deadpool's like seemingly grasses to Cassandra Nova that he's been slagging her off, and then he gets his skin ripped off and explodes like a big blood balloon. More on that in the. I think that post credits was good.
Yeah, that was a good post credits. I like that. I did like it.
So it's a thing of like escape. Maybe they will be able to get back out of the Void so that the TVA can help them. So that's what gives Wolverine the motivation. But only after they've fought each other over like Wade possibly lying that if they're able to fix your world, what's the first thing you're going to do? Like, what did you say? And then they had the big punch up to a point where it's framed like they're having sex in the car. And then they're like, I love the fact that he's tied Wade up in all of the seatbelts.
Yeah.
when they've both passed out, and someone gets in the car, someone that we've already seen, because it's the last reveal out of the group of survivors as well, which I think is like, fucking leave that one out of the trailer, because that would have been like, it was me, and it's obviously X-23 is the one that saves them and brings them there. But we get who's that group of survivors, Connor?
So for those that actually have watched the movies, you may have guessed 3 of them, 2 of them at least.
Did
2 of them were
did
still
you
a
guess
surprise.
any of them? I mean, it was rumored that all of them were in it at some point.
Not the man that was
Not Channing
Magic,
Tatum, no,
not Mike. No, but all right, fine.
Jennifer Garner was rumored.
Yeah, Jennifer Garner. Then we got
as Electra Yes, whatever it is.
Nachikotis.
She's not
knock you unconscious for that
knock you
pronunciation.
unconscious.
Yeah,
as played by Jennifer Garner once again. The biggest surprise for me
was
Blade.
not Mahershala. It's Wesley motherfucking Snipes.
It's like, I like that joke of like, which Punisher? There's been like 5 of them. There's only one Blade, motherfucker. And he just looks at the camera like,
and yeah, right, just, yeah. But then that's a good joke in itself because
I don't like you. You never did.
Well, yeah, because that's a good callback.
So Wesley Snipes, Blade, was in a film with Ryan Reynolds, wasn't he?
Yeah, but then to quote Mr. Sunday Movies, it turns out they never actually worked. It was like the stunt double.
Stunt double a lot of the time because by the 3rd Blade film, Wesley Snipes was a bit of a fucking absolute freak. Even one of the shots where he has to like open his eyes and he refused to the point where they had the CGI eyes opening onto him, like it's really obvious that those eyes are CGI. Famously, apparently, never liked Ryan Reynolds or got on with him. And that's what that joke is like in reference to. But in interviews since the film's come out, because he openly talks about like, I had a call from Ryan and I was like, if you can make it work somehow, then I'll be in. Like, because Ryan called him up and was like, I want you in it. Because also it pays homage, like if they're paying homage to the universe, that was his first like foray into the superhero genre, and that was hung over his head by Fox because it was like, if you want to play Deadpool, like, you got to do this for us. And then they hung it over and they gave him like origins, and then eventually like we got the version of Deadpool that we all know and love that is more of a clear adaptation of that character. But it's been hung. Deadpool has been sort of used by Fox against Ryan Reynolds, and it's surprising he's not bitter about it. He's very loving towards his origin story, as he calls it, his Fox roots. So having Blade in it was a nice inclusion, and having Wesley Snipes back is fucking amazing.
Brilliant.
We've already said Daphne Keane, X-23, would have been a nice surprise.
Very nice surprise.
That was the last reveal. But the man who never was.
Literally the X-Man that never was.
He never probably will be again, but he was like, I don't even care like if I live or die. Right. Like have a drink on me tonight. Like, as long as people know what I've done here today and that I will live on. Meta in so many ways because Channing fucking Tatum
was Gambit.
Finally
Remy LeBeau
gets to portray Cajun accent and all.
Comic
Remy
actor.
LeBeau.
Yeah.
Sorry, who's your dialect coach? The fucking Minions? I can say it one more time. It's been a while since I've watched Kojak. Or something like that. It might be a completely different guy. Channing Tatum famously 2015, not long after.
I thought it was sooner. It was after Taylor Kitsch dropped out of the Gambit.
That was a while ago because Channing Tatum's been attached to play Gambit for a while in a Gambit solo film or an X-Men ensemble, but definitely he was getting a Gambit solo film for many, many years, to the point where at Comic-Con 2015, you had that famous. Because they were rebooting Fantastic Four, and I remember at the time it being said in interviews and synopsis and things like that this was going to take place in the Marvel Fox universe, so that the X-Men and Fantastic Four could cross over. At the time, they still had Deadpool. No, it's not Deadpool. Like Daredevil, things like that. So they conceivably and famously, in like the early 2000s, wanted to do their own version of Civil War with the X-Men,
with the Fox stuff,
and Fantastic Four and things like that. So it was on the table for that, and you had Michael B. Jordan, Kate Mara, Jamie Bell, and Miles Teller having pictures with the Future Past Apocalypse cast. You had Hugh Jackman in there. You had Gambit wearing the same T-shirt 10 years later. There again, which was good because it was when the Deadpool footage had just been premiered. So Ryan Reynolds was there. This is this whole universe. I'm definitely going to play Gambit someday. On and off. I kid you not, for at least 5 to 6 fucking years. And then you get the Fox merger and everything that was ever in the works, or like New Mutants trilogy, that's never getting finished. X-Force, none of that, nada. We eventually got the Deadpool 3 film that we're talking about, but everything else wiped
completely
clean.
scrapped. Yeah.
So Emmanuel had waited so long to play Gambit, never got to play Gambit until this film.
July 25th, 2024.
How did you feel about that one? Because that is a deep. Because if you're not clued up on,
if you haven't done your homework,
not just the comics, because obviously you get that's his look.
Oh,
if you know,
but there literally is every AI Google picture of Channing Tatum Gambit brought to screen. Like it's very, very
good costume.
Very great. It's a great costume.
In parts practical, in parts CGI for obvious reasons. He's got the cane as well. I love it. That is a more deeper cut for us,
hardcore fans, enthusiasts.
In terms of knowing that was going to happen, because to a lot of, I imagine people, it was like, fucking hell, Channing Tatum's in this movie playing some random character. It's like, no,
who the hell is he? Yeah,
I like the metaphysical level of I don't even know if I've existed anywhere but the void. It feels like I was born in here.
Yeah,
sort of thing. So that whole thing of like him actually being able to be like we're the forgotten ones with the others.
Yeah.
How did you find him? Was he the biggest surprise
out of
the group?
Out of the walkers, out of the cameo that walked into frame? Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Was you happy with all of them because it was quite a mix?
Yeah, I liked them all. I was kind of hoping, not because of X-23, I was hoping for one more. But whereas who would have been that one other person, I still can't quite fathom. Because we got a mention of a Reed. We got mention that we didn't mention.
Yeah, Reed said it was just a kind of barren like wasteland. Yeah.
Reed died. Like, what the fuck happened to the? I would have liked another Fantastic Four member.
Was that Fantastic Four the 90s one?
Oh,
that you see
the unreleased from that.
Yeah, the big grey one. I feel like it is, or more in line with that, because it's not. It's not from 0507.
No,
and it's not from. We never really did. We even see one in Fantastic? I don't remember. I've not watched that film in so long.
I realize.
No. But it's like.
I would have liked one more.
Who would you pick? If Magneto? Tell me it's fucking Magneto.
That was me. I was like, please tell me it's Fassbender.
Yeah, well, for a long time we were like, Fassbender or McKellen, we don't care, but please Fassbender, because it would give him like one send off.
No, but
he's probably the best actor in the newer stuff. Like, in terms of like,
James
McAvoy's really good, but in terms of like, he's given fuck all, but he elevates it, James
McAvoy.
But also, I think Fassbender just is stratospheric. I love Fassbender. Apart from in Assassin's Creed, that film is dog shit.
Aguilar, whoever his name was.
No, he's dead. Oh, and I bet his helmet's out there so much he destroyed it after he killed him.
Fuck.
The only one like it is Juggernaut's one, which is true because Juggernaut is a half stepbrother thing of Charles, so would be of Cassandra Nova as well.
Like DNA and stuff, yeah. Or lineage. No, I can't fathom who I would have liked, but I would have liked maybe 5, like another person to walk in, and that could have been the real like, oh, I never would have put you in here for 1,000,000 years, unless that would have been the Gambit. Because you could have got, I'm not saying you should have been done any differently, but say you could have got like 4 well-known cameos and well-expected actors, and then it would have ended with, oh my god, guys, this is going to be the character. Deadpool's going to be like, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the Nexus beings, end all Nexus beings. And in his head, he's going to sell it to us as like, Wanda fucking Maximoff back from the dead, and then in comes Channing Tatum, and he's going to, and again, what the shit? Who the hell are you, Magic Mike, on a pogo stick? Like, it could have ended. The 5th reveal could have been someone like a Channing Tatum. It would have been like, who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you? We get mentions of other ones that have died. There's 3, but I forgot. I've literally
Daredevil. I don't.
Daredevil's the last one because they make the joke because obviously Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck were married, or they met doing Daredevil. And were married by the time she'd done Electric, has a brief cameo in that, but obviously they're divorced now. Like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. Don't worry about it. Oh, it's Punisher. It's Punisher, Quicksilver, and
Quicksilver
and Daredevil. Ones that the other people that they've had as part of their.
I think it was Evan Peters,
Aaron Taylor Johnson. I put my money on
Taylor Johnson. Yeah, either or. Yeah. Well, that's it. I figured out the cameo live whilst recording.
He exists in both. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it would have obviously been Evan Peters because it's the Fox show.
Out of the 2, yeah.
The fact that we never get a Happy Hogan, like, you look a bit like Foggy Nelson sort of thing, maybe. But, you know, pass. Punisher obviously gets mentioned then and more than once. Obviously, you know, there's 5 of them. There's only one Blade motherfucker.
Yeah.
When they decide that they want to get their ending and be remembered because they're the ones that people forgot because they're referred to as the others. And, you know, So they're going to make the last stand so that Deadpool and Wolverine can get Juggernaut's helmet to block out Cassandra and take her back out of the void and, you know, fuck off sort of thing. Sling Ring, an unseen Doctor Strange variant left a Sling Ring, or just a sorcerer in general. It doesn't have to be Doctor Strange.
Will it be a weird retcon time travel thing when Doctor Strange 3 comes out and he's like, I've just got to leave this here? Like, is it... If he is rumoured to be like the anchor being, is he got to do certain things across the multiverse in order for like how he knew in Infinity War, like the one way? Like, does he have to do things by the time we get to Secret Wars years down the line? Does he have to do things across different universes to then beat Doctor Doom Superior, not Iron Man / multiversal threat, whoever the big bad's going to be this time around?
Maybe, I don't know, but then it's also like assume that the close-up magician was killed in some way by Cassandra Nova. So
yeah, damn you, Nova! You took out all the cool possibilities.
I like that thing, the deepness of like, you know, she's helping Wolverine with like his guilt. It's like, I got you, no, I got you, and then like Deadpool puts the helmet on. Yeah, it's the whole thing of them fighting. Look, I mean, it's a bit gratuitous that Laura wears the sunglasses from the convenience store in Logan. Considering the fact that Daphne Keane is now fucking
like 7 years older at least.
Yes, 7 years older and about 7 foot taller.
Yeah,
you were never the guy until you were. You know, you remind me a lot of him. I had a life because of you and things like that. Like, obviously, as a character, like, you know, you're not the same guy, but you allowed me to live and help save us mutants, the kid ones. You know, even that guy that got crushed by grass, and the Frost Kid, and the weird Richter.
Ice Kid. What if we got Sean Ashmore, Iceman? Especially because we had Pyro. We could have had
a rematch of that fight.
Why not Pac-Man? We could have had the three. We could have had the three. Weird love triangle.
That'd have been good.
That weren't existing. I don't know. Just thinking cameos out loud.
Kitty Pryde.
Yeah.
But then Elliot.
Yeah.
Elliot Page wouldn't have probably done that because
Alan Cumming Nightcrawler.
Alan Cumming Night. Well, you had Azazel, so that was
that. But we're gonna be like, oh my god, it's your son. See, this is a family film after all.
We didn't get a Mystique of any kind.
Oh yeah.
Domino's not mentioned, and that does piss me off.
No.
Cable, you know, we thought, you know, apart from Cable, he didn't test well in focus groups. But that's just a thing of, I'm presuming, the availability of Josh Brolin, because the way that that's set up, it's just unfortunate that that's never followed through, that those characters aren't there. And it also leads us to believe that if there is a follow-up to this, are all these characters necessarily going to be there? Like, why the fuck is Shatterstar hanging around with him? What about what's his name? What's Terry Cruz's one called?
Oh fuck.
Bedlam.
Okay. Yeah.
Vanisher's not there.
He might be, but we don't.
Bill Skarsgård. Yeah, true. Bill Skarsgård's. Acid Spitman.
Acid Spitman. It's with an A though. I thought his name. Atalakonga, mate.
Atalakonga.
You
knew who he was, but so none of that. So that's the only sort of shame about it.
Yeah.
Very simple plot, but in terms of we get the Deadpool core that is alluded to many times. I can gently tap the fourth wall too. The proposal, which is weird because I watched The Proposal last night, so that's quite strange.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah, because that's nice, Paul. That's the only bit of the film. Like, I laughed throughout, but that bit made me fucking piss my pants. The whole thing with Nice Paul and Dog Paul, like, you know, trying to take Dog Paul off of him, and he's really nice and shiny. He's got like the samurai top knot, and he's overly nice and kind and padded. He doesn't have regenerative
powers.
How long did it take you to regenerate?
I don't
regenerate. Oh, you fucking done that on purpose. I'm not fucking supposed to know. I'm not a medicine woman. It's when he's like, fucking donut carts are basically like hospitals. So he's gonna take Nice Paul over to the donut cart, like after he's already used him as a human shield. I think I'm hit. And then like oh god, he dragged him over. I was done because he's literally just like that. And it's probably a stunt double and Ryan Reynolds doing it, because obviously Deadpool normal has got the mask on, so you've got that advantage. Like, no, I gotta protect my face because, you know, I keep the mask on and my bone structure. But like, it's the whole Deadpool core, like many different voices that we'll get into, like shooting at him. He's dragging into the why are we Why have we stopped? Just taking a fucking breather. Your legs on vacation. Oh, it really got me. I just he's dragging it like he's not moving off. Your legs on fucking vacation. I'm paralyzed. We mark up, bro. Tell me you're gonna live. Say, I'm gonna live. And his head
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna live.
Oh god, that was fucking. Honestly, tears in my. It's just.
I can't wait to watch that scene again and not think of this.
Ryan Reynolds is just his delivery on that. Just taking a breather. Your legs on fucking vacation. Because he's just like he's fucking dead. Oh. I'm paralyzed. We all got problems. Just stay with me. I'm gonna live. Oh, fuck me, man. Oh god, so many Deadpool variants. One of them Welsh Paul with the Welsh flag on him.
The Wrexham
was Strexham Riker
at your service
on Riker's Island. Is Wrexham striker Paul Mullin, who's not Welsh, so like you should have had him as Rex Paul instead of Welsh, right? Because he's Scouse. That's the only thing I was. That's the only thing I'm like. You should have had one of the Welsh players. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever.
And the fact that none of them are Rob McElhenney because he was cameoed as a TVA agent, but that scene got cut. And Ollie Palmer, one of the other Wrexham players, is the bar attendee, I'm assuming, in shitty Wolverine's world.
Yeah, shitty Wolverine, yeah.
But the Deadpool core, great variants.
Cool variants.
Nathan Fillion is Head Paul.
Floating head zombie Paul thing, yeah.
Matthew McConaughey is Cowboy Paul.
That makes sense.
Blake Lively is obviously Lady Deadpool.
Yeah. To me, it sounded like Taylor Joy because she had like a brief fight. It sounded like Taylor Joy. But...
Baby Paul and Kid Paul are their kids.
Yeah, that's cool.
Various other ones and unvoiced, like just loads of different ones. We got
a cool black X-Force comic Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like visually, again, whether it was voiced or not, I don't know. But it was just one of those that were there. A lot of them did look the same, especially when you get onto the bus montage.
Generic ones, but then there's like different, like padded ones, samurai ones.
Samurai, we get like an old traditional samurai one, and you get like a more futuristic.
Yeah, when his arms are growing back, when Peter. He's got like baby arms and he's like, because obviously he's fucking off. Oh, these ones regenerate, like that whole thing to the Madonna song, Like a Prayer. We get the mask. How did you feel about the mask? Wolverine's mask.
Oh well, yeah, it's no,
just reaches behind his head and then it just those blowjob handles. Sorry, I don't really touch you when I'm jealous.
No, well, because he said it was only in 4 minutes of the movie. That scene is the 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you saved the good stuff for for special occasions, mainly for killing.
Mainly for killing.
I don't like that the eyes are the white out ones, like Deadpool ones. For Deadpool, it works because they film it without the mask on, with Ryan Reynolds' expressions, and then do it with the mask and then merge the two. So then it's the face movements on the mask.
Oh, fair enough.
Whereas with this, it just sort of felt a bit it felt static, but it also felt very CGI on the top.
On the top.
It was a bit like that's just Hugh Jackman's chin, or no. But in reality, what it is, it's just a layer over the top of the head, and you're like, oh.
Not the same.
Yeah, I wish the eyes had been cut out. Because I know that's how it is for the comics, and you get the whole squinty eye and emotional things, a la your Deadpool eyes and your Spider-Man eyes. But it's like, no, just like sort of keep Hugh Jackman there. And like the whole use of that song was good. We finally got the fucking shirtless scene, and he just looks him up and down and just goes, because as a man in his mid-50s now, that was good.
Yeah, that joke was good.
I mean, shout out to Rob Delaney as well, unsung hero Peter.
Good old Peter.
What did you make of that when you arrived? What do you think? I keep it in my locker for me to wear?
No, Peter, out of all the Deadpool 2 cast, if you like, he's the only one that's sort of got a bit of screen time and justice and a bit of an extension to prior film. Hopefully, when we get traditional Deadpool 3 down the line, we can get a follow-up on Cable. We can get a follow-up on The Vanisher. We can get a follow-up on all the Deadpool 2 crew and X-Force. And maybe it won't be, of course, it won't be another multiversal romp, but it will just be a self-contained this is where we picked off last time, but with better budget. And without Hugh, R.I.P., rest in peace, and those ankles. Or some shit.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get more of an extension of the Deadpool universe with those actors coming back in the next film, should they make another one. But I think it's safe to say this ain't the last of Deadpool. This ain't going to be the wrap-up of anything anytime soon. Deadpool can come and go as and when. I get the fact that, you know, both guys have been doing it for over basically 20 years and they're all moving on a bit on the other side of life. But at the same time, it's their eternal.
Yes.
They'll be memorable.
That was good. And I sort of like how, you know, then it just sort of, you know, they have to then team up to destroy the machine to conduct it so that it, you know.
Very much like Loki season 2, episode 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very much Loki and the Big Tree. Spoiler-free context if you haven't seen that.
But
yeah,
that was good. Like in terms of like, it's a simple plot. It wraps up well. Peter. Every Deadpool's got a Peter. Like the way that wraps. Oh, sorry, I've got a really dry throat. The way that wraps up was yeah, it's fine. You know, are we going to see a lot of them? Like Wolverine is just left in this universe now to exist.
Ooh.
He's now part of the friendship group. Do they still have access to slide in between realities and things like that? Who knows?
Ooh.
You may, like, you know, we had some friends there. Like, if there's anything you do to bring them home, and we see Laura. We don't know what happens of Electra Blade and Gambit.
Gambit. No.
If that's one and done for them, that's fine. Especially,
Yeah.
sorry, the likes of Blade and Electra, because there are MCU equivalents of those characters.
Yet to be determined.
Yeah, one of them yet to be introduced. Hopefully, at some point in the next 50 fucking years.
Fingers crossed.
But it's like, you know, Gambit. Like, is there still room for a change in Gambit? Possibly.
Maybe.
I think it very much depends.
I would love it if he was to come back again. I think he would love to do more. You know, it took him a decade and a bit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's the way it just turns out.
Overall, this movie, a lot of fun.
Are we going to start? Are we going to star it or score it? Are we going to rate it, or is it too?
If it's a
soon?
score, we don't like doing 0.5s, so it would be a 4-star because it's not perfect, but it's a 9 out of 10. So it would be, if it was a half, it would be a 4.5 star.
Yeah,
like for me, it's good enough.
Closer to 4.5 than 4. If you were to, like, round it up, 4.25 ish.
It's close to. It's literally slap bang in the middle of a 4 and 5.
Yeah,
like it's not quite a 10 yet.
Yeah. No, I sort of second that. I think it's about 4.5.
Yeah. Which DK and Mike, that has been their letterboxd scores.
Yeah, I did read your review, Mike. Great review. I second it. It's one that you're not negative. I concur.
I concur vaguely. Yeah, overall it was nice. It wasn't too.
It wasn't overstuffed. It wasn't overstuffed. It weren't just cameo for the sake of cameo. Everything had a purpose.
Yeah, everything worked.
Yeah.
Everyone had their moment that cameoed.
They did.
Whether that be to just get beheaded in 3 seconds or, you know, save the universe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Emma Corrin was great.
She was really good in it.
She didn't really have a lot to sort of get her teeth into.
No.
But with what she did, you know.
For a character that hadn't been done on live action before as well, I think, you know, it's decent exposure.
For the visual shorthand of being basically Charles's evil twin sister.
Yeah.
It worked.
Gender flipped Xavier, but evil. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that we didn't get the traditional, like, bigger X-Men. I'm assuming we're saving those for a Secret Wars.
The mutants.
Because we've got, I think it's been renamed as X-Men again. It's going to definitely be an X-Men film.
Ooh.
So, because you can't, like, yes, it's, you know, gender fucking sexism from the 60s or whatever, but like as the team, like they are all the X-Men. You were the fucking X-Men.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I'd like to see where it goes, like if it's going to lead into another sequel or if it's going to play more of a major part in the upcoming 2-part Avengers.
Or do you think they'll wait until that wraps up and then we'll get Deadpool 4 or Deadpool 3?
I don't assume to have another Deadpool film before Avengers sequels.
No.
I think we'll see him in other films.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Even Disney Plus. If the powers of Feige one day let him do that.
Maybe.
I
know that he wants to do a Spider-Man film, doesn't he? They both want to.
Yeah, that comic's good anyway. That's another 2016-17 sort of more recent run, but that's a good run. Spider-Man, Deadpool.
But no, all in all, great time at the cinema. What did you think of the Fox tribute in the credits? Which was
cool. They're very touching. Yeah, loved it.
From the movies, but also a lot from the behind-the-scenes stuff as well.
Whether it was seen or unseen footage, I don't know. I've not spent Yeah, I'm crap at behind the scenes stuff. I'm just catching up with.
I used to be a lot worse than I am now, like in terms of to watch the movie. But now I'm like, if there's a feature
examining
like that, like I'm more up for it.
I say a lot of that footage over the credits, whether or not that was previously seen footage on the special features, or if that was never before unearthed from the vault, from the archive stuff, never before seen.
Yeah,
like that, all that stuff was cool. All that stuff,
and all of the movies that were, you know, either had a character or a shout out or reference from it were in there. Like you had like looks at Elektra, which then is like, but you didn't show any of Daredevil really. I mean, you saw the brief clip of him and Foggy sitting at the table. Fantastic gets a couple of clips thrown in, which is, you know, it's part of it. All the X-Men films,
for the majority of them, yeah, vast majority of them,
apart from
Apocalypse. I
don't think Apocalypse has a lot in it. I think you get a bit of Phoenix. There's a few clips of Phoenix. There might be the odd. No, there is like a couple of the blue screen stuff with Magneto at the end in the Horseman outfit.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of X1 and 2, not a lot of X3.
Yeah,
a lot of Origins, because that's obviously when the boom of that kind of stuff would have, like, you know, it's really popular, we're doing the next one. And it was Hugh Jackman just leading it, so like there's him with like all the makeup on from the Weapon X scene where he goes in the tank and things like that, and he's the one that bookends it. Like it starts with him and ends with him, and it is the ultimate thank you and good night to the Fox universe
for the last time.
It made me want to rewatch all the Fox films. Maybe we'll do, like Mike said, you know, we'll get the DCU
thing done,
and maybe we'll do a Fox verse. We'll do
a Fox roundup.
Not just the X-Men, but we'll do like from Blade, which is, you know, Blade, X-Men, and Spider-Man are the reasons that comic book movies became popular and bankable and like box office draws, so that we got a wider MCU. So, you know,
the blueprint to what
some motherfuckers still trying to always skate uphill. That was a bit on the. Do you know what that landed on? That landed on the side of, you know, I'm something of a scientist myself from No Way Home. Like, why is he saying that?
Yeah.
Why is he saying that line from the movie?
True.
But then that's more of a saying about the villains. Like, you know, they're obviously still trying, so it you know, it made sense in a sort of way. But it was a bit more on that side of, you're just saying that for the audience.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it was more of a niche audience it was aiming at anyway, instead of the Spider-Man meme audience. But yeah, enjoyed it a lot. I would like to
you know, I'm something of a Deadpool fan myself.
Yes. Where's Michael Chiklis? Where's Jessica Alba? Where's all of the fantastic cast? I mean, Michael B. Jordan is, you know, still in the MCU, but
in another universe.
He's a ghost. He's a ghost in another universe. But yeah, enjoyed it. Solid. Done exactly what it said on the tin. I think it was, considering you had, you know, the buyout, the writer's strike, because he wasn't allowed to improv any of the stuff when they were shooting it, because it could only be what was already written because of the writer's strike and things like that. So it's, yeah, for a lot of challenges, Deadpool and Wolverine, did it deliver?
Rose up to the occasion and succeeded.
Did it deliver for you?
Yeah. No, massively, it did. Yeah.
Would you see it again?
1,000,000%. Yeah, I'm trying to sort out when I'm seeing it.
Where would you rank it compared to the other two Deadpool films?
So if I was to do a quick fire of the trilogy, I know we said a lot about the first, but I kind of had a newfound appreciation for them too. So I think quick,
not 1 and 2 are like
they are very interchangeable. This trilogy is amongst the God forbid we get the conclusion to the Miles Morales trilogy ongoing, but like it's one of the best trilogies in comic books, and that's ironic because this is one big giant piss take. Yes. All of them are one big giant piss take, but it's one of the best trilogies of them all.
For me, in terms of Deadpool films, 1, 2, and 3. In terms of a flat-out Deadpool film, The Inventive Fist is the first one. Is such lightning in a bottle. As the budget goes up, they lose a bit of the creative nous. As an ensemble and comic book movie, this does really well. As a Deadpool movie, it's nice to have Ryan Reynolds back as Deadpool, but other than that, it's more of a here's the victory lap for this universe sort of thing.
At the minute, I'm 2-1-3. That's my ranking. I'm 2-1-3.
Which doesn't mean it's bad, because we've just said how much we enjoy it. So
we love Deadpool 3. I love Deadpool and Wolverine, both of them in the title, in that order. I'm first in the title.
It is a Deadpool film. What did you guys think of Deadpool and Wolverine? Was it your favourite, your least favourite? Have you ever watched a Fox film? What's your favourite?
What did the Fox say? Way back in 1998?
The Spirit of Vengeance. This is fire. Ghost Rider 2 is amazing. If they sold it on not fucking 3D, then I'd be able to buy it. Oh, that's one of the only films that exists just on fucking 3D Blu-ray.
Well, if they actually haven't done, you can't watch it standard Blu-ray.
You get a standard Blu-ray in it,
fine,
but the copy you have to buy is the 3D,
is the 3D
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray. Yeah. Okay.
Will we see any of these guys and more possibly in
the
Secret
future,
Wars?
or will they just be one big buried secret?
Yeah,
for you to see and stream on Disney
or will
Plus
they be
one day?
crucified on a big X with some skulls?
And with some soft music in the background.
Any other variants you could have seen? Are you mad we didn't see a Cyclops?
Are you mad we didn't get a Mystique? Are you mad we didn't get a Rogue? Are you mad we didn't? Rogue and Gambit. Man, Rogue and Gambit.
I would have liked to have seen them.
I liked
together.
a mention of a Rogue, of a femme fatale. Channing Tatum's love life. Him being a very attractive man anyway. That would have been a nice little...
What did you guys rank it? Tell us in the comments below. And any spoilers, anything we missed out on. And obviously we'll get to the Comic-Con stuff in a more general sense next week and hopefully on our own terms. But Connor, where can the good people find us in the void?
In the void. That is not part of Goliath. On planet Earth. You know, Facebook, X, Instagram, not Twitter. Threads, if anyone uses Threads, are you on Threads?
I've never used Threads.
No, essentially is Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah,
it's the same. It's the same thing.
Meta group.
Yeah, it's literally the same thing. You know, WhatsApp. Jesus, I ain't gonna go stupid, but again, you guys know how social media works. You guys use it way more than at least I do, because I try to not stare at my phone like my colleague is now. Colleague, that's how professional I am. Your colleague. Yeah. You know how to find us. Rate, comment, like the video if you liked what you listened to. Please leave a comment. Leave us your ideal team of who you would have liked to see, or who, spoiler free, you want to be in the movie. Because we may have the power one day to grant wishes for you, but you know we have to speak to the man first. And the man we saw in this movie was Happy Hogan, but maybe one day he can speak to the man, Big Kev himself, to grant them in a war that may be secret. One day, who knows? But we definitely have a say in that. You know, just share it, like it, comment, and just praise be Deadpool.
Getting us out there.
Yeah, praise be Deadpool.
And we'll see you guys next week.